No, dobrze. Okay. Randy, jak wszystko dzisiaj?
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
I got nothing.
Does it come with coffee?
Co ty mówisz? Teraz mówimy po polsku.
I'll take the over.
I'll have it with coffee.
It's time for the Bookie and the Bettor Show. If you're a sports fan, now it's time to play the odds and make every bet count. New episodes post every Thursday on your favorite streaming service. Now introducing Rob Kowalski, the Bookie, and Randy White, the Bettor.
Welcome back to our show. It is the Bookie and Bettor. I am your host, Robert Kowalski. You can always find me at Baldini's as the director of Sportsbook. And of course, today I am joined by Randy White. Nick Schulte is here, of course, and we're all really happy to be here and to talk a little bit about week number 8, a little bit of baseball. It is our pre-Halloween show, and so, of course, I'd like to go ahead and mention that as we're rolling into what's my favorite holiday. It's absolutely Halloween for me every single day, Randy.
And you may have some tricks this week and treats with the NFL game slate, so you never know.
Well, we're glad you're here again. Nick, we're glad you're here. I want to get some insight from you.
Thank you.
Very specifically, we got to have a couple of games that I want to take a look at. Why don't we go ahead and just start right now? Obviously, key injuries is something that we focus in on all the time, Randy, Nick. Game number 1 probably is the one that's everyone's probably focusing on. At 2, Brock Purdy. What are we going to do here with San Francisco and Cincinnati? Obviously, a game that opened up 5.5 on the road. It kind of makes sense. Right now, we've got it down to only 3.5. Sam Darnold, Randy, Nick. Any idea how you want to see this one focus out as a better?
Well, and here you go again with the 49ers. We talked last week about the three-headed monster. The 49ers, when healthy, when they have Debo and McCaffrey and Kittles, and now Ayuk.
Yeah.
When you eliminate some of them, and including Brock Purdy, this is not the same team. Even though they have depth at each position, they don't have the skill players that are marquee value players that can carry them to a win. And if Brock does not play this week, I think that really we've seen what happened last year in the playoff. Mm-hmm. You limit their quarterback play, and I know they have Sam Darnold now. This team's not the same team, and I know we're going to talk about some of these other teams. Something is amiss with these teams.
Yeah, I agree with Randy. I mean, I'm a diehard Niners fan, but, I mean, there's something that we're not getting the full picture here. So we'll see kind of how it plays out, but I don't see there's any way that, if Purdy's truly in concussion protocol that he plays. I mean, we've seen quarterbacks go 2, sometimes 3 weeks. But I saw a report today that he was a limited participant in practice, so how do you practice if you're in concussion protocol? I thought that was kind of a no-no. But
you can't. Nick, I'm going to put you actually in a more uncomfortable spot. I know you want to always support your home team, 49ers, so I'm going to make you the devil's advocate here, actually. Halloween, haha. Give me a case here for the Bengals. They're at home, catching 3.5. They're healthy. Doesn't look like the injury report shows anything of significance here. Why not the Bengals here at home as a dog?
I see that's a pretty good bet. I mean, I think right now I would definitely probably take that. If it was me, I'd probably look at the halves. So I'd look at maybe taking the Bengals in the first half and then kind of see what the game kind of plays out at, and then maybe I can hedge off a little bit at halftime. But I also think here with this game, it's going to be kind of a true test. There's been a lot of talk about Purdy being the system quarterback. So if Darnold comes in and he just starts, lighten it up, then I think, it kind of gives a little more credence to that system quarterback kind of synapses, if you will. So,
this is a game, bet the under on this week. Again, you got both, and even to the extent of Burrow. He's limited in what he can do. The running back game for the Bengals is questionable. Bet the under, that 43.5, you might have a 20-17 game here.
And we've kind of seen it with the Bengals all season. You don't know what team's going to show up. Sometimes Chase and Burrow link up and go off, and other times nothing. So I think it really kind of comes down to what Bengals team shows up, and then really who's the starting quarterback in San Francisco this week. I mean, I don't know if Samuel's going to be back yet or whatnot.
Well, and here's the interesting point. You got the Bengals at 3-3. This is a must game for them. They can't fall behind. You got 10 teams, 500 or better right now in the AFC. 49ers, it's hard to say. If they lose this game, they could be 5-3. But 5-3 in that NFC, where do the 49ers go from here? They still, let's face it, the interdivisional games, even with the Cardinals, anything can happen in that division. So it's a must-win, and it's hard to say 49ers have a must-win at 5-2.
And if I was John Lynch, I'd definitely be calling Robbie Gould any day now, because if they had a kicker, they would have won both of those games. But
No faith in Moody?
I'll get off my soapbox now.
Okay. Game number 2, and actually this one I really didn't want to focus on, but we actually got a request from, it says here from Klaus in Addis Ababa. So great, Klaus. Thanks so much for watching. Let's talk here about Tennessee and Atlanta. Randy, we opened this one up a little bit off from where we started. We opened this one up Atlanta, very tiny 1 little point favorite. But here we are. We're going to have a unknown. Will Levis a quarterback for Tennessee. And so at home, they'll be catching now 2.5. If you shop around, maybe even a 3. The total 35.5. Let that sink in. 35.5 for an NFL week number 8 game. Randy, your take.
Well, and if you notice these last 2 weeks, you used to see Derrick Henry down at the goal line, and he would do the jump pass or they're handing the ball off to him. Did you notice last week in 4 or 5 different series within the red zone, Henry was no part of the offense? I'm wondering what's going on there. Now, obviously, from the standpoint, you can't let the guy carry the ball 40 times. No. But he's pretty much money when he's inside the 5. And last week there was 2 series down the goal line. He wasn't even in there.
I don't know, Nick. Is he money anymore? Have we seen him peak?
I think it's come and gone for him. It's time to move on from Henry. I know there's some trade talks from some other teams, but I mean, what's the average lifespan of a running back in the NFL these days?
Not even 3 years, I would think.
I mean, I know he's King Henry, and it's just he's not the same as he used to be for sure. So
well, and I think that offensive line's part of it. Now,
100%.
Trade rumors out there. Jerry's world is interested in Derrick Henry. Does Derrick Henry with that Dallas offensive line? Obviously, they're not seeing, by getting rid of Ezekiel, they're not really seeing Pollard come in and step up and take the load. If you get a guy like Derrick Henry with that Dallas offensive line, could be trick-or-treat weekend.
Randy, you have way too much Dallas paraphernalia lying around. So go ahead. The offer is there. We'll give you Derrick Henry. What are you giving back in return?
Trey Lance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Trey Lance might be the exact person you would get. Listen, I really believe Dallas needs another wideout that can help them. I still think they're lacking at that wide receiver position. Mm-hmm. I know they got CeeDee Lamb, but they're really missing the boat with some of these other guys. If I was me, and as much as I'd say Derrick Henry would be a great fit, they need a wideout.
Do they need a wideout? Or do they just need everything?
I think they need a little bit of everything, if you ask me. But that's coming more from my Niners standpoint than
look, they clearly have defensive shortcomings. No one's going to just be completely impervious to injuries. They're getting hit already. I mean, I'm shocked it only took them to week 8, but obviously they've got problems defensively. Wait a second. This is a Tennessee-Atlanta discussion. Enough. Look what you did.
Oh, my exes live in Texas. Okay, go ahead.
It is the Halloween episode. Okay, onwards. Let's talk a little New York, New York. The Jets, the road team playing the New York Giants. This game, of course, is going to probably still feature a lack of starting quarterbacks. I don't think this is what they planned on at the start of the regular season when they had this idea in mind to schedule them together. Randy, we've got them 3 points to dog, the Giants. Actually, maybe dig around. Maybe you could find a 2.5. But at Baldini's, Jets 3, and the total 36.5. Which way does it go?
Well, again, with these two teams, I think they sway with the home field advantage. And obviously, you could say it's a 5-point game or a pick'em game, wherever you wanted to go with that 3-point spread. I like the Giants at home. And again, that defense is starting to play.
Stop.
Huh?
You just said Giants at home.
Yeah.
Where are the Jets?
The Jets are on the road.
Are they?
Oh, that's what I'm showing.
I think they're both New York teams. Last time I
What
checked,
true?
though.
Okay, I see your point.
They're not in their regular locker room.
The Giants have the home field advantage. And I just really think that the Giants' defense is playing a little bit better. And I don't know what Taylor's going to do with the quarterback position again this week. But I'm still not sold on the Jets. As good as that defense is, they scare me with the ball.
So
it's like, are they going to fumble, turn the ball over, or go for it on fourth down and not get it?
Praise be Zach.
Is this really turning into the year of backup quarterbacks? Because, I mean,
Actually,
think about it.
You're right.
When's the last time you saw two undefeated teams in Week 5 lose to two backup QBs? You know, you got Zach Wilson now and for Aaron Rodgers. And my take, Jets and over.
Well, and again, this is an interesting week. I mean, it's hard to believe we're sitting here and we're going to say season's almost half over.
Please.
Where does time go?
It's hard to believe. But when you look at right now where the injuries are in the NFL, and again, I go back to way back first week of the season. You look at some of these players, the high-profile players did not practice. They didn't do the fall camp. They came out, a lot of guys were banged up with hamstrings and what have you the first 3 weeks. This injury toll for this point in the season, I can't remember when you had 12 quarterbacks that were either questionable or out in the NFL.
Bigger, stronger, faster. That's why they can't last anymore.
That's right.
That and guaranteed contracts.
Yeah. The money thing is.
Money seems to affect things.
Well, when you walk, one of the things that really annoys me is when you have these guys making this kind of money and they walk from the huddle or after a series of downs is over and they're walking back to the sideline, I would be grabbing them and saying, you're going to be sitting next to me for the next 2 quarters.
You know what this makes me think, like every episode, like all we do is like break down games and analysis this, analysis that, and who's playing and, you know, what kind of yardage this guy can acquire and whatever have you. What if it was the other way around? You know what? I want like Aaron Rodgers to be able to like gamble on like total number of hours like Nick Schulte puts in at the office, like over under like 6.5.
Too, or
You should be able to bet that, no?
Now, don't forget, though, the trade deadline is coming. Trick or treat, big things happen.
All right, fine. Okay, right now, over under 1.5 key position trades in the NFL this week. Key position being quarterback, wide receiver, running back.
Well, I think Jerry Jeudy is definitely going to move this week. I would say over 1.5.
Yeah, I'd say over. I mean, I think the Titans alone are probably going to send their entire offense somewhere else, it sounds like. So.
I just, right before we came in here, the Panthers are looking at moving 7 players, Carolina Panthers.
Well, they're 0-6. So just go ahead and just wrap it up right now.
Turn out the lights, the party's over.
I set myself up with that. Oh, Jesus. Last game before we move on to other fun, mirthful things. This one is, I'm going to go take a look, see here. 7 points. Kansas City at Denver. Kansas City at 6-1. The Denver Broncos 2-5. Kansas City opened up as high as 9. They are now 7-point favorites. The total 46. Randy, plus or minus?
Well, this is another interdivisional game. In that AFC West, you seen what happened a couple of weeks ago. What was it, 19-8? They played the Broncos already. It was a couple of weeks ago we were saying Chiefs aren't the same team. Now they're 6-1. That's how funny the NFL is. Yep. This is a game where I would actually say, because of the interdivision, it will be close. But I think there's a turmoil in Sean Payton's life there in Denver. And if Kansas City is back to being 90% healthy this week, and there is rumor that Taylor Swift has 12 tickets going to the game, I got to go with the Chiefs. Big in this one. 31-13.
I think the Taylor is really the question of we want to know here, but I would agree Chiefs and over definitely. I mean, Broncos to turn out the lights.
And I gotta ask this question. Okay, Now, I'm 64 years old. Have you watched Wilson maneuver in the pocket lately?
Zach or Russell?
Russell.
He's not the same. He's older now.
Well, the gotta remember, air's a little thinner up there too in Denver.
Oh my Lord!
What
he
if he
should not drink coffee in the morning of a game. He is terrible back there.
How do you know he drinks coffee?
I mean,
This is a very special person.
I'm starting to begin
he might
to
not
wonder
want
if
to put
he's
in any
not
kind.
related to Jimmy G because he
seems-
has no movement.
He seems more like a kombucha guy or whatever it's called.
What? Oh my Lord! How old is he?
Probably on the older side of 30.
I think he's like 35.
Is he?
35, 36.
Please retire, please. Chiefs big in this one.
Okay. So more than the 7. What if it was, okay, so theoretical, what if it was still 9?
I would still take
Double-digit win?
They won 19-8. Granted, it was in Kansas City. 8 points is not going to get it done.
Yeah, if I would take it all the way up to 17. I think Chiefs win by 17. So
17, my
I
God.
have 31-13.
I'll give you a big plus on that, by the way.
I'll take it.
All right. So, look, Randy, all you do is just destroy everyone's hopes and dreams. You give up Buffalo as your winning pick from last week. Great job. Thank you so much. That helps definitely most bookmakers. One game to rule them all. Just pick a winner. I know you just gave Kansas City, and that's pretty cute. I'm not going to have you select them. You
Yeah.
could go ahead and let's do this. A more obvious victory in either. Let's just pick the two that seem to be talked about the most right now. Nick, same question. Let's go Lions, Raiders. So clearly Lions the favorite there. And then the late game, the Chargers of LA hosting Chicago. Which of those two would you choose?
I have the Chargers right now as my survivor pick this week. And again, let's face it. I know the Raiders has been defense last week.
Right.
Chicago was ready for the Super Bowl after they got done playing it. It's going to be a different story with Bosa and Mack this week.
Bit of an overachievement.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you say?
I think that'd be a great two-team money line parlay right there, Lions and Chargers. So I think both of them are.
Okay. How about that? All right.
Both teams coming off a loss, mind you, too.
Randy, is this what your computer also says as well?
It did. It actually did. And, here's another little thing to note. When you look at the spreads this week, now the last few weeks, you've only had 1 or 2 games with a big chalk of 7 or more.
Correct.
This week you got a lot.
Yes.
This is the week, if you go back the last 10 years, this is the week where you do money line bets.
Okay.
And you take the teams that are at home with the big chalk and you put them on money line. It's a winner. If you go back and you look at the history in weeks 8 and 9, when you have these big spreads over 6, take the team at home.
Are you telling the public to take every large point spread NFL game and parlay them together?
At home. Teams at home. So, just if you got a quick minute here, I know we're going to talk later in the segment about the Bills, but the Bills, Cowboys, Dolphins, not the Chiefs because they're on the road, Chargers, Lions, parlay all of them, money in the bank if you look at past history. And that's on my computer.
I'm not the better.
I'd like to take a look at your algorithm, but that's just a man's opinion.
If you look back in history, weeks 8 and 9.
10 years, going back 10 years.
Yes, look it up.
Because the game was absolutely the same 10 years ago.
Well, no, the game wasn't.
Touche.
But in the NFL, it is when you have
Week
the big
8,
chalk.
10 straight years.
8 and 9.
Got it.
8 or 9. If you look at the home teams that have the big chalk,
Right.
take them. You're a winner.
I love you, Randy. Okay, hey, look, I can't do this without any. Look, if I don't do this, it just won't feel right. We have to talk a little bit about a sport that we really haven't covered in pretty much any episode this season. World Series begins tomorrow. Guys, Texas, Arizona, no one really factored that in as an exacta.
What were the futures on those?
It was significantly
30
high
and 60 to
and
1?
very high.
Yeah.
So, look, something here is going to continue, which just I guess from a trivial perspective, Texas, obviously, they've never won a World Series. And Arizona has never lost a World Series that they've been in.
True.
Fun little thing. Look, game number one, Texas, obviously, Eovaldi's been really, really good, but that bullpen has seemed to want to implode. You know that Aroldis Chapman's still pitching on like any Major League Baseball team? He's with Texas right now, by the way.
Yeah,
So-
they didn't use him, did they? Maybe just once or twice.
Look, the bullpen is questionable at best, right? Arizona's on the other side. They're really, really good in their bullpen, and really no one's even talking about this. Randy, game number one, a lean here. You think Texas as a 170 favorite is
how can you go
little high?
against the Diamondbacks? They have been amazing.
A guy
in the
by the
play.
name of Bruce Bochy.
Yeah,
That's how.
Well, we're going to find out. And again, you got to have some partiality towards the Diamondbacks. The Reno Aces being the AAA farm team right here in Reno. And I believe they get a player's cut if they win. And you look at the guys that are on the Major League roster. A lot of them played here this year. So you got to have that going, saying, hey, I like that West Coast, but I also like the Reno affiliation as well. They're young. And I'm telling you, the middle part of their lineup can hit. So it's hard to bet against the Rangers right now with their starting pitching. Once you get to that bullpen, I think they're a little questionable.
I don't care whether it's hard or easy. I'm going to make you bet here on this episode.
I got to go with the Rangers tonight.
How about for the series?
I'm going Diamondbacks.
I
Rangers.
feel very uncomfortable right now.
I'm going to say Rangers in 5.
Including a win tonight, tomorrow night rather.
Win tomorrow night. and
So
they'll-
Friday
they'll
game
close it out
one.
in 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Diamondbacks in 7.
I only make the numbers, folks. I let them figure this thing out. So, as I said at the very top, this is our Halloween episode. Nick, thank you so much for hopping on in and lending your thoughts on all things sports betting. Randy, of course, thank you again.
Trick or treat.
You know, nothing goes without saying. For me personally, Halloween is just, for me, it's every day's Halloween, right? And so go out and enjoy
Well,
it.
you know, it's a scary thing just trying to pick a winner. That's like trick or treat. If you win, it's great. It's a great treat. But most of the time, it's a trick.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
That's been our episode. Bye now.
Thank you for listening to the Bookie and the Bettor Show. New episodes post every Thursday on your favorite streaming service.